Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Thursday evening, July 24, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak month of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section, but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know whether that's black in your year recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so we need to highlight this expert insight here from Andy Hazelton. He's actually an associate scientist at the University of Miami, and from time to time makes some very accurate posts about what's happening across the Atlantic. So he stated today, still pretty quiet overall in the Atlantic. A tropical wave in the intertropical convergence zone has some spin to it, but it is pretty convectively challenged overall. GFS shows a little bit of development as it approaches the Caribbean islands, while the ECMWF shows very little. ECMWF and its ensemble have some signal for a later wave coming out of the intertropical convergence zone. We'll see if any of these waves can start to overcome the overall dry and subsident background and show some development. So we see the tropical wave right here that he says has some spin to it that we're definitely all watching to see if it could develop. He also stated that the GFS is showing that something could possibly want to develop. This is by 6Z on Monday, July 28. That's 1 a.m. on Monday. We see something right here about to affect the Lesser Antilles. Very interesting. The Euro not really showing much of anything at that time. However, he does state that by the time period from around, let's say, the beginning of August into August 3, the Euro ensembles are showing something across the main development region. There's been a lot of talk on social media about the spaghetti model something. This is just basically showing us something like what a crystal ball would do, showing us what is out there, what could happen. So you know that usually when these ensembles light up and they show numerous L's and numerous lines out here in the main development region, it's only a matter of time before the Hurricane Center pulls out the yellow crayon and then something could develop. But you see the trajectory, most of these seem like they're going to be moving more northwestward than westward. We'll see exactly what unfolds. We know what these models usually show is not 100% set in stone, so we have to stay updated to see exactly what takes place. Taking a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather look that just came out at 7:26 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:26 p.m. Jamaica time, begins that we're still watching that cold yellow right here across the northern Gulf. And if we take a look at the infrared right here, we can see the cloud showers and the thunderstorms associated with it affecting the southern United States. Well, states in general, they're definitely getting lashed as we speak. A lot of cloud showers and thunderstorms down in here for sure. A lot of bad weather, deep convection, a lot of lightning as well. We see the sparkling white dots in there for sure. They're definitely getting hammered as we speak, but we see that it's definitely too close to land. It's not going to be developing at all, which explains why the Hurricane Center only gives it a 10% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days and as well as within the next 7 days. So it's not going to develop. This won't acquire the name Dexter at all. Maybe whatever is going to be taking shape across the main development region could be Dexter, but we have to wait for the Hurricane Center to highlight something first. However, regarding this area right here to the southeast of Hawaii, if we actually take a look, we can see the clouds, the showers, and the thunderstorms associated with it. For reference, we have Hawaii right over here, definitely trying to get its act together to push towards the west, just passing to the south of Hawaii either way. What the Hurricane Center has stated regarding this system is that disorganized showers and thunderstorms associated with a broad trough of low pressure located well southeast of the Hawaiian Islands continue. Some gradual development of this system is possible, and a tropical depression could form late this weekend or early next week as it moves generally westward at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So they've given the area a 0% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days and a 40% chance, a medium percent chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. I wonder that if it acquires a name, the next name on the list would be Gil. However, on the western Pacific side of things, we're still watching that mass of clouds associated with the monsoon across India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all of these countries over here in the Indian Ocean. While at the western Pacific, where we have the Philippines, Taiwan, China, Japan, we have 3 tropical storms over there right now. So we have Kome, Francisco, and Croza, and we can see them right here. Even better on the infrared, Kome right here, definitely lashing the Philippines as we speak. Francisco right down in here to the south of Japan, and to the south of Francisco we have that other one whose name slips my mind. That's Croza, brand new. Remember yesterday it was just a tropical depression. Western Pacific definitely on a roll as we speak. And regarding Kome, it's expected to make landfall this evening. Well, more than likely this evening is going to be morning time, their time. If not, the sun is already up, if I'm not mistaken. We can see that it is expected to make landfall as a 60 knot system. We know 60 knots basically makes it a tropical storm, so anywhere from 34 to 64 knots. Definitely tropical storm status is expected to push out towards the northeast, passing just to the east of Taiwan, and then possibly affecting the southern Japanese islands. You can see the intensity definitely decreasing in intensity by the 25th of July. It should be right here to the north of the Philippines, passing just to the east of Taiwan, weakening 45, 35, 25, all the way down to 20 knots for sure, back to a tropical depression, as you can see there. Regarding the other system, that's Francisco, we can see it right here, possibly affecting the southern Japanese islands as we speak, expected to push out towards the west, possibly maybe even threading the needle between Taiwan and China. Very interesting. As of right now, it's only packing maximum sustained winds of 35 knots, so that makes it a low-end tropical storm. You know that tropical storms pack winds of anywhere from 34 to 64, so it's definitely right here on the edge of tropical storm status, closer to tropical depression status than anything else, as you can see there. And finally, the last system, that's Croza, is expected to continue pushing northward, maybe passing just to the east of Japan, as you can see right here. It is currently packing maximum sustained winds of 35 knots, and that's expected to increase up to 60, maybe 65 knots, maybe making it up to Typhoon status, just a category 1 hurricane at that, nothing significant. And regarding the Philippines, they're definitely getting drenched from all the rainfall from tropical storm Kome. We see it right here. Volcaholic reposted something today. It states here, in Occidental Mindoro, Philippines, rescue teams from the MDRRMO and the Philippine Coast Guard substation braved intense flooding Thursday afternoon to rescue 2 families in Burgi, Tibag. And look at this. They're definitely getting nailed from that tropical storm Kome. Look at them, performing rescue efforts. Look at them, the muddy water, waist high that people have to be going through, and they're definitely getting the heavy rainfall even while the flooding is taking place, and there's more of that as the system is expected to make landfall. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see a tropical wave right here across the eastern Caribbean, just to the west of the Lesser Antilles. Another tropical wave right here affecting northeastern South America. Another tropical wave right here to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. All being steered from east to west, all courtesy of the ridges of high pressure to the north that we know are responsible for sending these entities to the west. And if you take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before we lost sunlight, we can make out the clouds associated with that tropical wave right in here. Even although we have a lot of moisture pushing off from east to west, especially passing to the south of Jamaica as we speak. That upper level, that low level flow, very fast trade wind coming in, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure right here to the north. Another tropical wave right here to the northeast of South America. Another tropical wave right in here to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. All of these entities being steered by the ridge of high pressure to the north. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean's weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Thursday, July 24, 2025. It was stated that rainfall could have been in the forecast for parts of eastern Jamaica on Thursday morning, also affecting sections of some northern and western parishes during Thursday afternoon. Now we know eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Andrew, Kingston, and St. Thomas. Western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawny, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. While northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawny, St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland. And what ended up happening? As early as 6:05 a.m., the infrared satellite imagery was posted not only here on our Twitter page with the Jamaica, but it was also posted on our Instagram page with the Jamaica, on our TikTok page with the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page with the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we saw the thunderstorms, some early morning thunderstorms at that, coming into section of eastern Jamaica just as predicted. So section of St. Thomas, section of especially Portland. I mean, look at the thunderstorms that they got in on, pushing through into portions of St. Mary, maybe even eastern or northeastern St. And they definitely got nailed this morning in Portland. Some decent thunderstorms for sure. And this was predicted, especially with the upper level clouds being sheared off from southwest to northeast by that upper level wind shear. It would have been favoring northern Jamaica, just as we stated, all courtesy of that upper level wind shear. And the afternoon satellite imagery confirms that even more. Look at the thunderstorms that took place. This was posted at around 3 or 5 p.m. And we can see the blues, greens, yellows, oranges, reds, not to mention the sparkling white dust that confirm the cumulonimbus cloud cover and the isolated thunderstorms, lightning strikes, lightning flashes here and there. And you see where the cloud tops were being sheared off towards the northeast. Definitely bring more overcast skies than anything else to sections of St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawny, St. James. Thunderstorms were definitely, or the rainfall associated with the thunderstorms were definitely more so across sections of Hanover, Westmoreland, northern St. Elizabeth, wherever we have the sparkling white dust that signal the lightning strikes or lightning flashes. That's where the usual rainfall is located, and we had that across sections of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, northern Clarendon, section of northern St. Catherine, gotten on the thunderstorms as well. And we can see it all even better on the visible satellite images of Jamaica before we lost sunlight. We can see even some isolated shores passing to the south of St. Thomas, even some of the high clouds being sheared off towards the north. We even still have some clouds right here to the east of us. Maybe some of that might make it onshore later on. As you can see, we're losing the sunlight, and most of these clouds are dissipating for the most part. And the infrared close-up satellite imagery right here, confirming that we did indeed get none of that thunderstorm activity across especially central and western parishes, with the cloud cover across especially northern Jamaica. This was predicted, and as you can see, everything dissipating as we speak. We definitely had some rainfall around the Bogwalk Arch today. This was at around 4:39 p.m. We can see that it was definitely wet, to confirm that we definitely had that rainfall across portion of northern St. Catherine. They got the rainfall just as predicted. And if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams all for you all to view for free. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. Taking a look at the total accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website. This map does indeed paint quite the picture for we had that rainfall today, especially across western Jamaica, Hanover, Westmoreland, northern St. Elizabeth, northern Manchester, northern Clarendon, northern St. Catherine, sections of southern St. Mary's, southern St. Anne, southern Trelawny, section of southern St. James for sure. That's where most of the rainfall was. And we definitely have some confirmation from some of our followers about what the weather was like in their area today. We have Fest Genius, the thing we get it in Spanish Town. We also have on our Instagram page, Marlon_OneGod_ sitting raining in Clarendon, Northern Jamaica. I'm happy you got that rainfall. We have one Ryan that underscore sitting raining in Hanover with thunder. Thanks for confirming that one that we're seeing here. We have Jevan Pantan sitting Spanish Town sunny. Anastasia Blush stating lots of rain, breeze, and thunder in the hills of Upper St. James. And if it's Upper St. James, more than likely it's Southern St. James for sure. So I'm glad that you also got that rainfall. Even on our YouTube page, we had some comments that came in. Let's read some of these. We have Randall Green sitting, good evening, weather Jamaica. We didn't get any rainfall in Burnstown, St. Anne today. We have Cleveland Allen 9237 sitting. Rain a few hours ago in Westmoreland, thanks for confirming. We have Active 4081 sitting. Rain a fall here. Where is here? We have Gavin Thompson 8467 sitting. Getting rain in Maypen. Thank you all for confirming what the weather was like in your area for today. Alright, so let us reload the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website. Let us see what's happening right now. The very latest still image, look at that. Oh, would you look at that? The very latest still image at 23:45 UTC, which is actually 6:45 p.m. It's showing some thunderstorms right here across sections of Portland and eastern St. Thomas. We literally just spoke about this. Wonder if I can reload the latest visible, if I could see some of these clouds. The time is now at 7:01 p.m. Let's see if we actually make out some of these clouds. Alright, there we go. Yes, I can definitely see some of the clouds coming in. Definitely affecting Portland section of St. Thomas. Very good. So yes, it's making sense right here. Isolated thunder showers affecting portions of Portland, eastern St. Thomas right now. Maybe some of that could make it to my area. Fingers crossed. Let us reload the very latest Cuban Doppler radar, the very latest Guantanamo Bay U.S. Navy radar, and the very latest Cayman radar to confirm what's taking place right now. Right, so it looks like the Cuban Doppler radar glitched out at around 5:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 4:50 p.m. Jamaica time. At that time, we saw some leftover rain bands across the west, and we saw some of the rain bands across the waters to the east of us getting ready to come on shore. But the Guantanamo Bay radar definitely going to be confirming that rainfall that we're seeing affecting portions of Portland and eastern St. Thomas, since it doesn't glitch out like that. So it's definitely showing that green into the yellows that represents some moderate to heavy rainfall affecting sections of Portland as we speak. Definitely coinciding with what we're seeing on the latest infrared satellite image. On the Cayman radar, on the other hand, we can make out that not really much of anything is taking place across western Jamaica at this time. But we do see some rain bands across sections of Cuba, the blues into the greens, into the yellows, some light to slightly moderate, even some heavy rainfall. And even to the southwest of the Cayman Islands, we see some rain bands right in it there, some light to moderate, maybe even up to heavy rainfall like that. And the live camera here from C Jamaica's YouTube channel is showing what's taking place right now. As you can see, at 7:04 p.m. Definitely fair weather taking place around the Bogor Gorge. As you can see, people in their vehicles going about their business, nothing in the way of bad weather taking place, and that should be the order of the evening. The temperatures right now, 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 29 degrees Celsius in Kingston. I'm pretty sure that it is cooler than that if this area got in on some rainfall today. And by around 4 a.m. on Friday, temperature should dip down to about 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Friday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Friday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some yellows. That represents what we see here on the key on the right. That's at least 1 degree Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperature for the month of July across Jamaica is around 91 degrees Fahrenheit. And when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that is around 32.8 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32.8 to 33.8 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Friday. And we're grateful that we don't have any maintenance outage advisories here from my JPS Online Twitter page to highlight. But if tomorrow is going to be a bit too hot for you, we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, seek shade when outside. Eat fresh, try eating cold foods such as salads and fruit. Rest, make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. Soak, take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough the importance of keeping hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water even if you're not thirsty. And put away those sugary drinks and drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those areas. And we see the abundance of dry air across the northern portion of North Atlantic, extending all the way over into Africa, all of the dry, stable air responsible for keeping the atmosphere at bay, making it harder for it to rain. But we're liking the abundance of moist air that we're starting to see. We see a lot of it across the Gulf, across the Caribbean, across the main development region, especially the intertropical convergence zone, northern South America, getting in on all of the moist air as well. That's what we want. We want more moist air so that we get more clouds, so that we get more rainfall to keep water in our pipes. Regarding the Saharan dust forecast, so we're heading into July 25, July 26, and July 27. As you can see, not much to talk about. The Saharan dust definitely dwindling. The more west it pushes, the more it dissipates. More so in the way of greens than anything else. We don't see that crazy orange, red, and pink that means very hazy skies that could trigger respiratory illnesses in some persons. So we're glad that for the next 3 days, Jamaica is, the Caribbean in general is in the clear for the most part. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can clearly see the high wave heights right here to the south of Jamaica, the dark blues into the purples and the pinks that represents anywhere from 2 to 2.5, maybe even up to 3 meter wave heights. And that's because of the strong easterly winds that are expected to the south of us. Look at the yellows, that represents up to 25, maybe even gusting up to 30 knot wind. And if we zoom in a bit on Jamaica regarding our waves, clearly the highest wave should be to the south of St. Thomas, 2.3 meter wave height at that. To the south of Clarendon, however, 1.3 meter wave height. To the south of Westmoreland, 1.1 meter wave height. To the north of Hanover, let's see, it looks like 1.3 meter wave height. To the north of St. Anne, 1.6 meter wave height. To the north of Portland, 1.9 meter wave height. And that's because of the winds that are expected. Clear, the strongest wind should be on the south coast, up to 20 knots right here to the south of St. Thomas, 21 knots right here to the south of Clarendon, the south of Westmoreland, 18 knots to the north of St. James, up to 21 knots for sure, but clearly the winds are weaker elsewhere. 11 knots to the north of Portland, to the north of St. Anne, 16 knots. And we also see where the air is expected to pile up, especially across sections of some western parishes. As a matter of fact, let us use the GFS. The GFS is more accurate. Alright, so it looks like it could be more so across the northern and western ends, where the least amount of winds are expected. So that could be where those low-level clouds become mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds. So that's where we could have that diurnal convection, that daytime heating. And let us see where the upper-level winds are coming from for tomorrow. So it looks like it's coming in from the west, so it could favor both sides of the island, the north coast and the south coast, especially the south coast, since it looks like it is tilting more so from the north in a sense. Very interesting. Yes, today it was coming more so from the southwest, definitely bring more overcast section of some northern parishes. Tomorrow it looks like it's going to be coming more from the west. So today it was from the southwest. Tomorrow it's going to be more so from the west, if not from the west northwest. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Either way, in terms of the actual rainfall forecast, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, which is actually 11 a.m. Jamaica time. And we don't expect it to be raining across central and western parishes at that time. But what we're seeing on both maps is the blues represent rainfall, especially across the eastern end. Maybe St. Thomas, Portland getting in on some late morning rainfall. I'm definitely here for it. I'll take it. Then by afternoon, this is about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time. And both maps are showing rainfall across the eastern, the northern, and western ends of the island. Definitely for St. Thomas, Portland, maybe sections of St. Mary, northern St. Catherine, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, getting in on some of that. So get ready for some more afternoon rainfall for sure. We'll definitely take it. We like how it has been, a bit wetter for the past couple of days, and we'll definitely take more of the rainfall as we wrap up July. And even the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in agreement that it's going to be raining somewhere in Jamaica within the next 24 hours. In by way of contrast, the Euro showing the most rainfall across the eastern end, up to 0.37 of an inch of rainfall or more. The GFS showing the most rainfall out in Hanover, maybe up to 0.45 of an inch of rainfall. Whatever happens, we'll definitely take it because we're in the month of July. And in Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive around 50 millimeters of rainfall this month. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive around 3.2 inches of rainfall for this month. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall, for the month of July or for the entire year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and that website will show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the calculations yourself. Alright, so we just looked at Friday's forecast. We're going to be looking at Saturday all the way back to next week, Thursday's forecast. So we're just going to be looking at the next 7 days. That's the next one, just 68 hours, according to the latest Euro and GFS supercomputer model runs that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here, as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. As the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens represents inches of rainfall. And let us see if we actually make out any brand new systems out there within the next 7 days, and look for consensus on both maps. So 7 a.m. as we know, 12Z is 7 a.m. on Saturday. We see the greens represent moisture across northern and eastern Jamaica. Very interesting. Friday afternoon, it looks like eastern, central, and western parishes. Well, Saturday afternoon, it looks like eastern, central, and western parishes getting on that rainfall. Let us see what the GFS shows. Saturday morning, just like what the Euro was showing, rainfall across the north and the eastern ends of the island. Saturday afternoon, rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. It looks like Saturday might just be the rainiest day we've had in July. I'll take it. Let us see what Sunday morning is showing. On that Sunday morning, maybe some isolated showers to the northeast of us. Sunday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across sections of some central and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Sunday morning, rainfall across the waters to the northeast of us as well. Sunday afternoon, central and western parishes with that rainfall. Let us see what Monday shows. Monday morning, not really showing much of anything across Jamaica. Monday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across central and eastern parishes. That's new. Let us see what the GFS shows. Monday morning, maybe some rainfall across the waters to the east of us. Monday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across northern and western parishes. Let's see what Tuesday morning shows. Tuesday morning, not really showing much of anything. Tuesday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across central and western Jamaica. Let's see what the GFS shows. Tuesday morning, not really much, but look at the moisture right here and some kind of L. Right here to the south of Puerto Rico is something trying to form. But the thing is, we don't have the consensus on the Euro. We usually look for that, especially on the Euro, because trust me, if the Euro was showing something and the GFS wasn't, Hurricane Center would be all over it. But you know, the GFS is bonkers sometimes when it comes to these systems. It's like this. The Euro is more so perfect when it comes to tropical cyclogenesis, something formulating. The GFS is more powerful and more accurate when it comes to afternoon rainfall. I definitely believe that. Either way, in terms of Wednesday morning, look at the moisture across the waters in and around Jamaica. Very interesting. Wednesday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across southern and eastern parishes. Or, well, not Wednesday afternoon, but 12Z on Thursday, as you can see there. Let's see what Wednesday, well, Tuesday all the way to Thursday it looks like on the GFS. Tuesday afternoon, rainfall across central western parishes. Something coming right into the Dominican Republic. Very interesting. Wednesday morning, not really showing much of anything. Wednesday afternoon, rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. And we're stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. Very interesting that it is within a 7-day time frame. And we're seeing something right here that looks like it could be a tropical depression or tropical storm skirting to the north of Cuba. Very, very interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of talk on social media about it. But the thing is, we don't have the agreement on the Euro. Look at it, the same time period. Nothing at that spot on the Euro. Something on that spot on the GFS. This is why the Hurricane Center didn't highlight anything as yet. But could happen tomorrow, if not Saturday or Sunday. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Just have to pay close attention. Either way, in terms of the total accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days, it would make sense that the Euro is showing less rainfall than the GFS. Look at the GFS actually picking up on all of that crazy moisture associated with that possible system, passing through the islands, passing through Dominican Republic into the southern Bahamas to the north of Cuba. The Euro not showing anything there because the Euro didn't pick up on any low pressure. But clearly, In terms of the agreement, we can clearly see that the most rainfall over the next 7 days should be wherever we have the dark reds into the purples and the pinks. That's 2 all the way up to 5 inches of rainfall. We clearly see that on both maps across taking on northern South America into Central America, while other areas that are shaded in the greens, yellows, oranges, and reds at least up to 1 inch of rainfall, like Florida, the Bahamas, Greater Antilles into the Lesser Antilles, should be getting on that amount of rainfall, at least 1 inch or less. But regarding Jamaica, total accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days. Both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Thursday, July 31. And we see the greens into the yellows that represents anywhere from 15 all the way up to maybe up to 30, 40 millimeters of rainfall, 44 at that, across eastern Jamaica on the Euro. GFS a bit more robust, especially out west, where we see up to maybe 50 millimeters of rainfall. And whatever happens, we'll definitely take it, because boy, you know, July hasn't been bringing much rainfall at all, so I'm glad it's actually wrapping up a bit wetter than normal. Taking a look at what's happening right now across the rest of the Caribbean. As stated, we have that tropical wave that just passed through the eastern Caribbean, right here to the south of Puerto Rico. We see a lot of fast moving low level clouds passing to the south of Hispaniola and Jamaica. A lot of moisture passing to the south of Jamaica as we speak. Some of that could definitely affect us on Friday. We can also see a lot of moisture associated with the intertropical convergence. So one of the numerous tropical waves down in here, definitely worth watching. We also see numerous thunderstorms popping up across sections of Central America into northern South America. As usual, nothing new. But regarding the Doppler radar imagery of the northeastern Caribbean, let us see maybe some isolated shores across northeastern Puerto Rico, some hit or miss isolated shores in and around the Leeward Islands. And if we load these images from earlier today, we saw some of this moisture passing to the south of Puerto Rico associated with that tropical wave. Looking at the Barbados radar, look at the moisture pushing in from the east-northeast, coming into section of Dominica, Martinique, section of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, getting on some of the moisture, so to Trinidad and Tobago. And regarding the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see the moisture associated with the tropical wave passing to the north of the ABC Islands, section of Venezuela getting on some rainfall, section of the Yucatan and northwestern Guatemala getting on some rainfall, so to section of central and western Florida getting on some of the rainfall as well. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are adamant that within the next 24 hours, areas such as maybe northern portions of the Bahamas, northwestern portions of that, section of western Florida, section of Cuba, section of the Cayman Islands and Jamaica, section of southern Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico getting on some isolated shores, so too section of the Leeward Islands, Guadeloupe, Dominica, sections of Grenada, St. Vincent, Trinidad and Tobago. While the most rainfall over the next 24 hours clearly is going to be from Guyana westward, so Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, and Yucatan Peninsula getting on some of that. And we can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in agreement with this forecast. I know that when they're in agreement like this, the chances are higher for it to actually take place. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.